From the DR Proud Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jesse Gunkel with another update on Delta. It's the 12 o'clock hour, and we just want to give you the latest information. If you're thinking about heading to bed, what could possibly happen overnight? We're watching two things right now, one being our river stages and the other one the wind. Everything else, the rain has pretty much wrapped up. That's why I'm not too concerned about the water right now. As you see that we're starting to see the river levels crest around Comite River and Jur Road. Again, it's a little bit higher at 26.25, but should be kind of roughly cresting at 26 or maybe just a hair above. That puts it at moderate flooding, and then we'll start to see it kind of level up. So again, it's still rising at this hour, and if you live anywhere near there, Greenville Springs, it looks like we've had some reports of Greenville Springs Road closed due to the high water coming from the Comite River. Also pay attention to the Amite River a little bit further downstream where the Comite meets up with the Amite River in Denham Springs. We're expecting to get to minor flooding, and that's going to be tomorrow at about 31 feet. We now sit at 27 out there, and then eventually all that water moves downstream. Expect Amite River at Bayou Manchac to sit somewhere around 10 feet. And again, these numbers could change just a little bit in the coming days depending on, again, we're not really seeing too much more in the way of rainfall. We're pretty much cutting that off. The concern is going to be mainly runoff right now, and because we've got a lot of ponding water out there in many areas, it's going to go into our bayou streams and eventually filter into the Amite River Basin. So again, those levels could be adjusted a little bit going into the early morning. But the other one is the wind out there, and we've had quite a few power outages across the area, and if you're on the roadways, numerous traffic lights out now. So again, trees are toppling in many areas at this point. So we're talking tropical storm force winds, and if you're waiting for your power to come on, you're going to have to wait a little bit because power crews, bucket crews at least, are not allowed to work for their safety unless the winds drop below 30 miles per hour. Again, we are expecting tropical storm force wind gusts possibly until the morning hours of tomorrow. So we got 43 right now in New Roads, 47 here in the capital, 38 in Hammond, 45 in Ascension, 49 still in New Iberia. We're talking 44 in Lafayette, 53 still in Jennings. And the winds are finally starting to calm down just a little bit, still very breezy in the Lake Charles area. So again, as you see the overall pattern here, wind gusts, and you kind of see overall models as I continue to put them forward. You'll see probably around 4 o'clock, I would say maybe even around 8 o'clock. That's finally when we drop below tropical storm force winds, drop below 40 miles per hour. And I think the rest of the day will still be rather breezy, so just be well aware of that. But we'll get back to some sunshine and some drier weather. Because of that potential threat, they still are keeping us underneath that tropical storm warning. At least for a few more hours. Again, winds are still expected to be 39 plus, maybe even just shy of, I would say, again, the range for us is probably about 40 to maybe 55 out there at most. And then still, again, it looks like that threat for hurricane force winds now starting to diminish a little bit further west as the system continues to drive northbound. So here's the latest information. And I do want to point out, just to give you an indication where Delta made landfall at 6 o'clock this evening. That was in Cameron Parish, just 13 miles away from where Laura made landfall as a Category 4. And that was just 43 days ago. So think about that. Kind of odd to have two storms, two decent-sized storms, make landfall in the same parish. I think this season needs to come to an end. All right, satellite and radar picture. Winds right now at 75. That's still a Cat 1, but again, we're going to be starting to watch the system kind of weekend. We'll get another update coming in at 1 o'clock in the morning as the system kind of races towards the northeast. And you can see here again the track should be out of here in the northern half of the state by the time we get up, well, by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, and then it quickly drives towards the northeast. So again, that biggest concern really for us, it's going to be those winds out there. And just to kind of show you one quick look here at your Doppler radar, just to show you that we had a few light bands out there, but the majority of that rain is progressing east of I-55, and we should be moving back into a little bit of a drier pattern over the next couple days. So again, stay alert. Just know that the winds will be blowing. You're going to hear them, the trees creaking and cracking out there probably all night. So again, I really don't expect those winds to die down until the morning time, but otherwise, just be safe out there. Continue to keep up to date with the latest information. And thanks for joining us. And make sure, again, that you stay weather aware. Have a good night.